Welcome back to Inspirational Journeys, everyone. My name is Ann Harrison, and today I have a special guest back on the show, and she's been on the podcast before. Welcome, Jen.
Hey, Ann. I'm
Yep.
so glad you had me today.
Yes,
Thank
Jen
you.
Lowry and I are going to talk about, there's quite a few updates. But we're going to talk about love over pizza. So for those that don't know Jen, I'm going to find one of your most recent interviews to put on the podcast and the YouTube videos. I got to go back and find one of those. For those that don't know you, they can watch previous ones, but because there's quite a few. But for those that don't know you, Jen, introduce yourself.
So my name's Jen Lowry. I'm an author, a literacy coach at a high school, and I also teach English 1. I'm a homeschool mom. I'm a Christian, a wife, take care of the family, author coach. I have a Patreon group, Writing Warriors for Jesus, the WWJs. You'll hear me talk about them all the time because I believe they're the best writing group ever. And we're leading conferences this year. We're writing books and promoting the conference right now. So if you're going onto the site, you'll probably hear a lot of that. And I'm currently in the process of getting published again with a traditional publisher for my new thriller, The Sunday Killer. So excited to be here. Thanks, Ann, for having me.
Thank you so much for coming on the show. So kind of give us an update of what's been going on since we last talked.
Oh, wow, Ann. So Ann and I last talked yesterday. So when she's saying since the last time we talked, she's not talking about.
I'm not talking about yesterday. I'm talking about since the last time we talked on the podcast. You got books that have just come out.
Yes.
Sweet Potato Jones in August last year.
Yes, here's Sweet Potato. So I think that was the last time that we had a podcast together.
Right.
So that was to talk about just all of the whirlwind of what happened with that, from the publishing contract to learning the author world, and to the final date of publication. So that was in August, if I'm remembering correctly.
August 18th
for
was when
you and me having our conversation.
I gotta go back and look. Yeah.
But I'm thinking, so that means that after Sweet Potato, I had to make Ann put the brakes on me. Like, she was my accountability partner because I wanted to just keep hitting publish.
She just want to go boom, 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 boom. No. That's not what your publisher told you.
Yep. Because we needed to have a time where I wasn't self-competing. I was not competing against Sweet Potato's work and her character and her life. So I was like, guys, I need to hold off. So don't let me publish anything until January 2021.
Right.
And so that's what they did. They held me back. I know it was hard, Ann. I know it was a burden. But then this year has been really productive for me because I had some banked books. So one of those banked books was a children's book that I wrote and illustrated, My Fly Felix and Me. So that one came out this year. Ghoul School. Oh, I have a copy of it downstairs. It came in the mail yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Cool. Yeah, so now I get to do a read aloud on YouTube, and I get to read the whole book and share that out with families, and I get to hold the pictures. It's gorgeous, y'all. So Ghoul School Book 2 came out in February, and then I had Love Over Pizza for February for Valentine's Day. I wanted everything released by then and have my party. So Love Over Pizza is my newest one that you had an opportunity to read. Well, you've read all of them, Ann.
Yes, I have. But yes, Love Over Pizza is the new one. So tell me the inspiration behind this one. So
I love how things happen in life for me because I know they always fall into my books somehow. So Ann knows me personally. She's one of my closest, dearest sisters in Christ. She's like my sister. And so Ann will read my books and was like, okay, that was so you in there. That was you. That part is you. So Ann knows that I'm very inspired by life events and things that I love. They always end up going into my books. And I met my husband on an online dating site. So we met on Zoosk, but I didn't want to use Zoosk in the book, so I had to create Cupid's Connection. And I created this whole online scenario based on the love of my life, Eli. So we will be married 6 years this year. So it was time to honor our relationship in a book. I honored my parents' marriage in a magical Christmas wedding. So this one for Love Over Pizza, it was that time again to bring up online dating. And of course, it is completely fictional. Like, Eli does not run a pizza shop, even though you would think we would, because we now have 3 pizza stones in our house, and we are constantly making pizza since this book.
Oh,
Like, I can't tell you how much pizza we've made
you made
since I
me
started
want
writing this
pizza
in
eating
December.
that. You made me want pizza eating, want pizza when I was reading that book. I'm
Like, I
telling
couldn't
you.
help it. And so we were making the grocery list out today, and Eli was like, okay, so can we have pizza next week? Y'all, we just had pizza yesterday, and I just made pizza last Thursday. So I will let you guys know that we are really kind of hooked on pizza right now, and I blame it all on the writing process. Um,
Yeah.
so I was inspired by our love story. I love writing male characters that are teachers. So Pepper is a teacher, even though I teach high school, which she teaches the littles. She's a kindergarten teacher, but yeah, I love that aspect of it. And it was just great being able to live into this world in this pizza shop for the month I was writing this in December of 2020. And it helped me get through the holidays, which are a tough time for me emotionally. Because my parents have passed away, and I have a lot of holiday memories wrapped all around experiences with my parents and especially my mom. And so, Hallmarkish book as best as I could get it to kind of honor my mom too. So that's the inspirations pretty much of Love Over Pizza. Plenty more, but
Love the epistolary is what they call that when you're doing text messages and then instant messages in the book. You inspired me to do that for mine.
awesome. I've never done that before, so that was a new technique, but it just fit because you're talking online.
Mm-hmm.
So then I wanted it, and I'm such a texter. Like, like for everybody out there listening, it's not that I don't want to talk to you on the phone. Please don't take this the wrong way. But I'm so busy that I just appreciate when a text comes through, because then I can answer it and keep homeschooling, or I can answer it and keep having supper or working, doing whatever.
Yeah.
The phone calls for me just are few and far between. I'm a texter now. And so they love to text back and forth, quick text. And so that's patterned on probably what I enjoy doing.
Right.
So her and her best friend, they text back and forth throughout the book. They also FaceTime throughout the book. And her friend won't even ask, are you busy? She'll just start dinging through FaceTime. Like, it's my time with you. And so there are times when they do FaceTime.
Yeah, I noticed that.
So her best friend still does come into her space, even if UFC's on in the background. She's like, turn it off.
Yeah,
Let's do
no.
this. But yeah, I liked adding that in there. I thought it was just a good element for the story. It fit the structure of the story.
Right, and it made it a fun read to see that progression. It really did. I don't want to spoil it. I really don't want to spoil it. I'm like you now. I don't want to give spoiler alerts, but Pepper has her issues that she's going through. Luca has his, but I'm gonna be honest, when I was reading it, I was like, don't they know that they're the one that they're talking to each other online while they're working together? It's like,
They're so
you would think it was
busy.
obvious.
But they're so busy. So you think about a workplace. You think about a very, a thriving small town restaurant
Mm-hmm.
that's getting tons of business. You've got Luca in the back who has taken over the shop after his parents have passed away. And so not only is he having to run the shop, he wants to be the main one in the back. It's almost like he doesn't want to let go of his father and his time in that space. He's very protective of his cooking space. Then you've got him having to deal with also the financial reports and the ordering and getting all of the supplies in. And so he's taken over so much. He has to learn to relinquish some of that as he goes. You will see that, he gets good advice from Tangi. he starts recognizing, yeah, I know I need to hire someone else. Yeah, I know someone else also needs to come. Like, he starts releasing some of that control
Mm-hmm.
and that power, because he was using that also as a way to work through grief. Because sometimes the busier you are, it's easier for you. You don't have to stop and think about everything you've lost. And so it was harder for him, I think, to stop. So he wasn't noticing Pepper that well, like that much. He was like, oh, she's cute. Oh, look, she's really talking to the customer. Like, that's what he noticed. He noticed her work side, like, oh, she's bending down and really engaging with the customers and the little kids at the table. How cute is that? But he's like not looking at her like, man, I'd like to date her. Because he's like, how can I date someone when I'm 24/7 living for this restaurant and my sister now?
Right, right. I mean, and then he's trying to get his sister to go to college, thinking, let me stop, because I
But
will.
yeah, so that's one of the things. Like, he's trying to say, look, you can't stop your life too, because he wants so much for his little sister. They have
Right,
a wonderful relationship. But it's also unhealthy in a way, because he's wanting her to do the thing that he couldn't do.
but that's not what
And
she wants.
and he doesn't understand that. He thinks that she is kind of immobilized like he is. He's projecting the way that he's dealing with everything onto her, and he sees all of her potential and all of her life in front of her, and he was like, I don't want you here. My life is this restaurant. I love making pizzas. This is my joy. This isn't your joy. Me and you, we're different paths. I need you out. I want to kick you out in a good way. I want to make you go to college. I want to make you do all of these things. But she has her own plans.
Right, I'm not going to tell you what they are because you're going to have to read the book.
And there's could possibly be a spinoff on one of those plans,
I
because
was about to say, is there going to be a sequel?
well, the answer is yes. Now, I don't know if it's going to come in so here is an idea I was playing around with, Anne, because I've
Mm-hmm,
never done this before.
mm-hmm.
Um, a 2-in-1 story. And it's so odd how I'm going to try to explain what has been playing around in my mind since I wrote this. But because of the spinoff opportunity for Angel, an Angel story, because I don't know about you, but I love Angel.
Yes, I fell in love with her. She's so,
Oh,
she stands up for what she wants, though.
and I love her. And she's 19 years old. You know, she's right experiencing all of these wonderful things in the middle of heartache and pain and terrible tragedy. And so she's one of the focal points in the book, but she also could deserve her own story. So I was actually thinking of doing like a back and forth, almost like you get Pepper and Luca continuation, but you also get an Angel continuation within the same book. And so you get to choose the stories as you go through, like choose your own adventure.
Oh, wow.
You'll have both stories into one book. So it's almost like I'm creating a collection of these characters. Instead of writing a spinoff and have her own separate book, put more of her and her POV in with Pepper and Luca and pulling it. I don't know. I'm still playing around with it. I know I want to go forward with the story, though.
Yeah, but you could actually do it. Here's an idea. You could do it instead of doing it all in one, because you don't want to distract your reader like you were telling me yesterday.
Yeah,
You could do it as 2 novellas
I've never done a novella before, so that would be something new for me to
and then
try.
put it in a compilation thing.
Yeah, I could do that. So
Because I've
Love
seen
Over
other authors do that.
Pizza. Love Over Pizza, I left it with the point where, you could even have Jessie's story. You could even go with Jessie going to New York and becoming the author in the author world. So I also
Mm-hmm.
have left that open. But at the end, I left it open where I don't want to give it away, but there are some next steps that could happen for Pepper and Luca that are just that natural progression of relationship that I couldn't all get in on Love Over Pizza. So there is a great opportunity for me to write book 2. So I'm going to fill out what my sales are for the next 6 months because, I self-published this one through Monarch Press. So I'm going to check out my sales, see what the reception is for Love Over Pizza before making that decision to write book 2. Because I can't release anything right now until 2022. So it would have to be a book maybe that would come out Valentine's Day 2022.
Oh, okay. Okay. So did you have to do a lot of research for this one?
So when you say research, you're talking about like romance or romantic comedies, or are you saying
that or any like research factual type stuff? Because I know we all have to do, watching those, reading the books and watching the genre research. We all have to do that.
So I was actually on like Business Insider websites of restaurateurs, like restaurant owners and management. And I was actually looking at, what is it like for the lives of these owners, these chefs. So I was reading a lot of nonfiction articles because I had actually kind of was ignoring the fact that he had to keep the books. And I was like, wait, an order's got to come in. And, that shows he's getting up like 5:30 to start his life. And he doesn't stop until the minute that place closes. And then he's trying new recipes at night. Or then, of course, they're having to clean up and all of this. So by me doing that research about owners and chefs, that allowed me to make sure that I was authentically capturing that life. And so I did do research on that end. The parts about the teaching aspect, you guys know I'm a teacher, so I'm a K-12. And even though I don't teach kindergarten, I've been in elementary school circles for a long time. So I felt like I didn't need to do any type of research to catch the teacher voice and to catch that teacher lifestyle. So that one was easy. The write what you know. That is really easy for me. I love writing teachers. I have a teacher in Love Over Pizza. I have a middle school teacher who teaches history, which is perfect for a magical Christmas wedding because her history degree and her love of history helps her when she's time traveling. So that's why she's a history teacher. But I love that. In the whole small town, didn't have to research small town because I'm from one. And so the whole part about research was fun for me was asking people, what is your favorite pizza? Tell me what you love on your pizzas. And so I would put it out on social media and I would get these crazy responses and I'd be like, wow, they make pizza like that? And so I was putting in some of the Instagram responses or some of when I was making a video live, Nick's children like certain types of pizzas. So I made sure that their pizzas were in the book. And, I made sure that I was taking what followers were saying was their favorite pizzas and adding it into the book. So that was some fun research, if you could call that research.
Oh, yeah, I bet that was.
And then we were trying all new different kinds of pizza. Buffalo chicken pizza is one of my favorites. And then Mexican pizza, we did a taco pizza. Like we were doing all kinds of new concoctions with pizza. So
wow.
Research was being eaten, let's just say that. But I told Eli at the beginning of the month, I was like, okay, baby, it's Christmas time. I've got to watch You've Got Mail. And I needed him to watch that with me. And he did. He watched that one with me. I got through it without crying as much. And we just started watching romance movies and romantic comedies. And that was also my type of research. And Eli and I watched tons of movies the month of December while I was working Love Over Pizza. Instead of reading a bunch of romance novels during that time, we were watching Sandra Bullock and Meg Ryan and watching Mimi Driver and just, catching up on oldies and new ones.
Oh, wow. I bet that was fun.
It was fun.
So, and I don't know what else to ask you about Love Over Pizza, but I am going to ask you another question. So what have you got coming up? I know you got the Sunday Killer that's going to be published this summer.
Yes.
So what are you working on now?
So the Sunday Killer is listed to come out the end of August, which I'm super excited to go through that process with the publishing company, start edits on that, do cover design. So you guys, if you're going to be checking out any of my sites, if you hear about the Sunday Killer, just know that that's my first crime thriller book. Love that I had an opportunity to write that during Nano, thanks to Ann and Tish. Encouraging me to do Nano last year, because I pushed out that book in July during Camp Nano. So that one is going to be a heavy emphasis until its release date, because then I have to plan launch parties and get endorsements and go through edits and all of that. So I know that's going to take a lot of energy, but we're doing story seeds right now with the WWJs, and those story seeds, I have 7 ideas already for Nano. And my 7th one is the one that I'm actually going to be doing for Nano, and that is how to write a book from start to finish using the Monarch method. And that came from our WWJ boot camp yesterday.
Yep.
Thanks to Sherry and Ann encouraging me. So I will be writing that, and I know that there's 12 steps to the method. Well, there's 4 stages in the life cycle of creating the book, and each stage has 3 different components. And so each chapter is going to work through, each section is going to be a life cycle, and it's going to have those components. So I know that the base of the book is going to be 12 chapters, so that's great for my organization. And then I'll do intro, conclusion, and I'll have like resources, maybe a couple of extra chapters there at the end, but I know for sure it's going to be the 12 chapters I'm going to try my best to get through. I'm trying to get through the whole book during the Nano month of April.
Wow, that is going to be amazing. Do you have a word count goal?
No, I have a chapter goal. So because it's going to be nonfiction. It's going to be, how to use the method. And then that would go and correspond to the class. So people would be able to get that on Kindle Unlimited, be able to access that book. And then if they wanted to take the course where they got the videos and they got the Q&A live working sessions, then that's something that I could promote in the back of the book.
Oh, God, you know what? I was gonna suggest that you put that in a book.
Yeah, I'm going to create a book, and I'm going to write it during the Nano month. So my goal for Nano, instead of a 50,000 word count, because it's nonfiction, it doesn't need to be 50,000. Like some of my devotionals are 19 to 25,000 words. So I don't want to do a word count goal for myself for Nano, and that's why I love Nano projects. I can create whatever I want during that month. The point is I'm having a routine and I'm productive, and I get the words and I get the movement of my book. So
yeah, but when you
if I do a chapter a day, which worked for me before, I've done that strategy before. If I do that, I know in 12 days I will have all of the components written, round 1 of them done.
Right, but what I was going to say is on the NaNoWriMo project, on the NaNoWriMo site, they haven't done like the other goals. It still shows word count goals, sir.
Yeah, so if I just say 25,000 or 30,000 or something like that, I'm not going to pressure myself with it, because mine will be chapters per day. Because
that's fine.
Because one of my chapters is, you're going to love it, Ann. So Ann knows my strategy. She knows everything. Ann, you know everything.
Yes, you are such a visual person. Jamboard.
Ann knows
Jamboard,
everything.
Canva, all of that stuff, y'all. I
That's
can't do
how I work.
half the stuff Jen does.
But Ann has her own way. So here's what I thought about. I'm going to include this in the book. So the first step, I'm a visual learner, Ann knows. And because I love pictures, inspiration from pictures, that's one of the first things that I do is I just go out and I spend time on websites. I spend time on those image websites. And I'm just perusing and just thinking of ideas and looking up characters and all of that. Sometimes I'll make book covers at the end of chapter 1, y'all. Like seriously, that's just how I do it. So if I'm going to be talking about the Monarch method, I want it to be that authentic experience of actually what I do from start to finish. This might work for someone else. Someone else could modify these steps. It may not work, but it's a method to try.
Mm-hmm.
So as I'm doing the plan the vision board party for the visual vision board and create those visuals for your people, for your book, for your idea, I can also add, or if you're not a visual learner, plan a playlist. Search for songs that could be your theme song for your characters, for background music as you're writing, for, you know how you're working Stardew Valley soundtrack right now?
Yes, I love that.
So I'm going to give people an option because I understand that not everyone could tap into that for accessibility issues, or they just may not work that way. Even if they can access visual, they may not find their inspiration that way. It might be through sound. So, you know how you love your wind chimes, you know how you
Mm-hmm.
love your sound, you know how you love your songs in the background.
Yep.
So so when I create chapter 1, plan your vision board party for your book to celebrate your book from the beginning. For number 1, get your mindset right, to get yourself in positive emotion. You know me, I'm going to go back to that well-being and always.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about the PERMA model, which is a research-based model for well-being and positive psychology. So I'm going to tie positive psychology into the writing process. Just that's because the way that I process things, I'm going to share out that connection, and that is going to have an option to it. So you can read the chapter and it could give you all the tips to start your own vision board party for yourself,
Mm-hmm.
for your visuals, or you can do a sound party and you can start creating your playlist. So you can make a choice within each chapter. So by the end, the Monarch method is definitely going to be, these are the steps of how I start a book from start to finish. However, with the options that I'm going to put in each chapter, by the end, you can create your own method.
Oh, wow. That's amazing. And I mean, I will talk about this later, but I'm kind of I'm working the snowflake method myself, but I'm kind of wanting to condense it and turn it into something of my own.
And so continue to pray about that. Continue to do what you challenged me to do yesterday. So this was hilarious, y'all. And it's challenging me yesterday. And I'm thinking, okay, well, I need to know how to package it. I need to know what it looks like. Because me, I'm going visual, right? I want to see. I want to see the color. I want to see the image that I can tie it in. So then I know the vocabulary to use. And Ann is like, stop. Can you stop? Can you just have the grace to grow? Because that was our phrase yesterday.
Right.
She was like, can you grow? And you just do something different this time? So I brainstormed with Eli. When I got off, of course, I prayed. I spent some time in prayer. I was looking up Bible verses, just praying over verses. Then I talked to Eli after I spent time in prayer, and I was like, you know what, Eli, they were telling me to stop and not to do it like this. And he was like, okay, well, why don't you make a list of every single thing you do? Make a list from the first things that you do the minute you get a story idea. What is it that you do? And I said, well, I started kind of collecting pictures. He's like, okay, put that down. Number 1, you're collecting pictures. Well, then what do you do next? And then what do you do next? And so I sat with my journal book yesterday and I made my list out of everything that I do. And I ended up getting 12 things that I do from start to finish, from visual to collecting that vision board party, which is discussing in my brain, why am I writing this? Who is it for? You know, that whole thing, the whole why vision party, all the way down to the release. When I know it's ready to be released to Sally, my editor, like, here's the steps, the 12 steps from creation to release.
Right.
And then the Monarch method came to be because Monarch is my business name. It needs to stay within the brand. I'm all about butterflies. This is my year. Pooja got me this beautiful, she sent this to me in the mail, and she bought it pre-COVID and was going to hand it to me. Butterflies, y'all. The butterflies are my thing. And so the life cycle of a story is the creation of a butterfly. The metamorphosis, the change, the growth, the way it starts so small and becomes so beautiful, that is the life cycle of story. And so I'm going to build my whole Monarch method around the life cycle of a story. So I worked through all of that yesterday. So thanks to you, Anne, I spent about 2 hours brainstorming and crafting it all out and creating all the images and building it all within like 2 hours. But that's when I knew it worked. I knew it was easy because it works, because it's something I've done for 20 books.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That is cool. So, yeah, I've got some ideas and I want to start. I know what I want to do for my Patreon now.
See, good.
Yeah, I know what I want to do. I want to do it $1 for the Discord, and I'm telling you guys now, so y'all be watching out. $1 gets you access to my Discord server.
Anne's loving some Discord, aren't
Yes,
you,
I am. I'm on Discord. I'm on 2 Discord servers, and it's accessible too. And I'm gonna start my own. And then your $10, I'm gonna do workshops like the 7 questions you should ask yourself before launching a podcast. I'm gonna create my method and do a workshop on that, and accessibility, easy tips and tools for making your website, author websites, accessible, and that kind of thing. So I'm kind of, the Lord was giving me some of this stuff this morning. I'm gonna write some things down. So, and then the $30, if you got a book or something, or book, a business, something you want me to do an ad for, you want to support me at the $30 a month level, you get to be a sponsor. You get to sponsor the show for that month.
Oh, love that, Anne.
Yep. So I have 3 levels. God has given me that. I'm probably gonna need your help, y'all's help with that, designing it, but I'm gonna write it down in my journal and start, seeing what I need to do to start just to create the information and then start building it.
So congratulations to you.
Yeah.
The thing is that we always have this opportunity to grow. We
Right.
always have new ideas. Story Seeds has been really a blessing for me because now I have actually 8. I came up with 2 in one day, but I have 8 ideas moving forward. And even though I know 7 is for nano, if you ask me what my next Camp Nano would be, I can go back to my list and have all these great starter points that I can go for. So whatever the Lord leads. And then the summertime, wide open to be able to write,
But I thought about doing these as paid trainings, but I thought, you know what? It would just be easier if I did it on a Patreon. And get did the patron, do it for patrons. It would be easier for me because I don't know how to set that pay for the one-time course up, and I could still it could still be an income stream for me. So
Good.
y'all, I'm gonna be talking about that in later episodes in the future, and I will be letting you know when I'm gonna launch that. I've got to build it first, and then y'all are gonna be hearing a lot about that. So a lot about the behind the scenes stuff for that. So, and I know you got the WWJ's conferences coming up. Tell us those dates and what are, kind of give us a teaser about that.
So love the conferences. Last year we held one conference in August. You can go to the website. You can go to the YouTube playlist for the Writing Warriors for Jesus, and you can go and look at all of those videos from last year. We love that we can offer the conferences free and that they're live streamed. They're going to be real time, so you can get in, ask questions, communicate, connect with new authors, build your writing community during the conference. And that was awesome that you can go back and watch those videos. So it's all public. Yes. You don't have to go in and register. The beauty about registering is that if you do, we get to collect your email and you give us permission to send you updates, and you also get included into the drawings. So if we're going to be giving away super prizes like Anne's poetry book, then you would be able to be in the raffle for those if you do register. So at the end of that conference, it was such a wonderful day of fellowship, talking about Jesus and writing and meeting people. We met Sherry, a new WWJ from that conference. So just, it enriched our lives as WWJs, but it also taught us a lot. Like, how was your mind feeling at the end of that day, Anne,
I
of
was
all of
like,
that learning?
I was like, whoa, I need to stop. I couldn't even read that night. I just listened to music and relax because it's just too much to process at once, and I have to take some time. Like I said, I am not. Y'all know me, y'all, my listeners, y'all know me. I'm not a fast writer. I am not that fast of a learner, and having all that information, all in one day, I'm like, whoa, slow down.
And it was a lot, and
It
it
was a
was
lot to take in.
valuable.
It
And
was.
it was one that we got to go back to and slow ourselves down after. And we had reflection meetings, and we went back and rewatched, and we could listen again, and we could take notes again.
Gosh, I still got to go
So,
and rewatch some of that stuff.
and so that was the beauty of having it in a public way, so that way anybody that found the WWJ's conferences, they could learn just like us at their own pace. But after the conference was over, I received an email that said, hey, why can't you do a youth conference? Can you just do a separate one for kids, book authors, K-12? And I was like, of course we can. So I messaged the WWJs and said, guess what, guys? We got somebody wanting a kids conference. Let's do 2 next year. So all the WWJs were excited about that because we do have children's book authors that are within our own writing group. So May 22nd is when we're going to have the youth conference. That is a one-day event, but it is to focus on K-12 authors, children's authors, and adult authors who write children's books. So that one's going to be cool. We've got picture books all the way to YA that is going to be represented that day. The lineup is fabulous. Everything has just worked out so perfect. The Lord has just opened doors. And it's just all fell into place. Easy to organize a conference when it's all right and it's meant to be. So May 22nd is that one. That's the youth conference.
Right, and then on August 6th and 7th, we have our normal conference, and I will be on the conference. I will be the lunchtime hangout because I'll be doing exactly. I'll be doing a session called No Excuses. No matter whether you have a disability, regardless of self-doubt, fear, anxiety, whatever the baggage you're dealing with, whatever problems you think you have, you still have no excuses. You can still write. So I'm going to go into I'm going to, talk about that, and then we'll have some Q&A stuff, and I will be telling you guys about some things I've got coming up then too. But y'all just stay tuned because I will be, we'll be having a lot of good information. You guys need to register for the conferences. I'll have the link tree in my show notes, but Jen, do you have that in front of you if you want to tell people in case?
So if you guys go to, if you do Linktree, WWJ, you will be able to find us. I just found that the Linktree is really cool when you have multiple sites that you're trying to send people to. So you can register for the youth conference. You can also register for the August conference. You can follow us on Twitter at Jesus Writing. You can follow us on Facebook, the same name, at Jesus Writing. And you can find us on YouTube, Writing Warriors for Jesus. If you go ahead and subscribe to that channel, you will be able to see anytime that we upload. Like this interview will go into the WWJ mini sessions because Ann has asked me to place it on there. So we have mini sessions that we've been holding as WWJ members, but you can also just go and look at the playlist and see the old conference. But that's where the new conferences are going to be. They're going to all be linked on these playlists, and you'll just be able to follow them every 45 minutes, then a 15-minute break, 45-minute sessions. It's going to be 2 days now for August. And you would think that we would have had trouble finding 2 days of presenters. Oh, no.
You'd be surprised.
It was a weekend, and we had the lineup, stellar lineup, already prayed over. already sending out invites, getting yeses. And so for the August 6th and 7th, we're going to have self-publishing with Dale. If you've not followed his YouTube channel, he has a wealth of information for self-published authors out there. So he's going to be our keynote speaker for the August 6th to 7th. So I really would encourage you guys to go follow his channel, keep up with Dale, and then you get to have him with us at the WWJ conference. But we've got a huge lineup. We've got publishers, we've got HarperCollins, we've got authors, we've got nonfiction children's books, all the way across the board. So there's going to be something for everybody at the August conference. Amazing, guys. It is free. So make sure that you mark your calendars for that event. And let's say you've already planned vacation on the August 6th and 7th. Don't despair. They're going to be recorded. You can go and watch them.
Yep.
You just missed the live Q&A, but if you want to reach out like Sherry did at the end of the conference last year, Sherry started emailing me as soon as the conference was over and asking more questions and talking about her writing journey. And next thing you know, Sherry became a member of the WWJs, the Writing Warriors for Jesus, which is my Patreon group. So for $1 a month, you can join our private Facebook group and become a member of the WWJs for Christian authors. And then you can look at the different tiers that I have on my Jen Lowry Writes Patreon page to see the different WWJ tiers. But just super excited about the conferences, Anne, because that's just a day of fun, fellowship, hanging out, talking about Jesus and writing. It was a blessing.
Yep. And last year was fun. I mean, it was a lot, but it was fun. So I encourage you guys to come and register for the conferences, or, follow the Writing Warriors for Jesus YouTube channel, and follow those playlists. If you're not able to join, like Jen said, you can always go back and watch later. Or if you are able to join and you get overwhelmed, you can always go back and watch later, because they will be banked. So where can people find you, Jen, if they want to reach out to you?
Jen Lowry Writes everywhere. So I've got a podcast. Absolutely love my podcast. And so I do that on audio. So it's the Jen Lowry Writes podcast, The Right Amount of Grace. You can also go to my YouTube channel. So if I'm doing interviews like this with other authors, you can watch that on YouTube. So it's Jen Lowry Writes Everyday Mom channel. That's the one that I have all my YouTube on. And then Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn, Jen Lowry Writes.
Yep. And she did an interview with Kelly Martin yesterday, which I love that.
I was so fangirling. I was so I was like leaning in with my hands cupped. I was like, go, talk.
She was so excited.
I love Kelly Martin's work, guys. I read 2 of her books in the fall. And then when I had an opportunity to interview her, I was like, wait, she's one of my favorite middle grades horror writers. And I just read Fake Nora, finished it up. It came out on the 2nd. So if you guys are looking for your next scare and you love middle grades books and you want to read something with your kids, I love Fake Nora. That one just came out on Tuesday. So yeah, I get to meet some awesome authors through the podcast. And that was the one I did yesterday. So you guys check out some of my old episodes. Go ahead and follow. And you can email me, jenlowrywrites@gmail.com. If you have any questions or want to know more about the conferences, if you have trouble finding where everything is, just send me an email and I can help steer you on your way.
Right. So now after this week, I will give you guys the full schedule when it comes closer, but I'm planning to have Rachel Clark, who wrote The Big Old Bike. I want to have Michelle DeRosier, who has written several books, including Accepting Elijah's Heart. And then Anne Daleview, who just wrote she's been on here talking about marketing, but she just wrote her fantasy book, and I can't remember the name of that.
A Tale of Ashes.
A Tale of Ashes, yes.
Which I have already, so yeah, you're speaking my language, and you're talking all about our lovely WWJ women.
Right, and I want you guys to meet these authors because they're going to be on the conference and, at the conferences and stuff. So I want to bring well, as many WWJs as possible, because I know not all of them have published new books yet, but I know these three ladies have. So, and I may even bring our newest one, Tracy Murdoch, since she does kids books. I may even
Yes.
bring her on too next month. So,
Hey, I've already emailed Tracy, and I was like, Tracy, you want to be on the show? We want to talk about, hang out. And so I'm hoping I get to schedule her too, Ann. So love
that's
that.
gonna be fun.
Yep, go ahead and message Tracy
I
because
will.
it would be good to have her on the show.
Yeah, it would. It really would. I will, because I'm gonna get. I gotta get all four of these ladies coming up, because the month of April is gonna be all about that, and getting geared up for the WWJ conferences. I'm gonna have the WWJ authors. So, and WWJ stands for Writing Warriors for Jesus, for those of y'all who don't know. So, Jen, do you have a verse you want to share with us today?
Oh, this is the day that the Lord hath made. Let us rejoice and be glad in it. Psalms
Yes.
118, I think 24.
Yes.
That's my favorite verse. I have to remind myself often that this is a new day. Let the old pass away and have joy. Find joy in the day. And I'm looking forward to taking a walk. That's where I'm going to find some joy. Yesterday we went on a hike after I worked with Kelly Martin. Today, and after our podcast, I'm going to go take another walk. Sam doesn't want to go today, though. He wants to play Minecraft. So he's going to be on the video. But me and Solomon are taking a walk.
Yeah, before you have to take him back to school.
Yes. So I'll be driving and taking him back tonight. So just pray for safe travels and mama emotions to be in track when she drops her baby off again.
Yeah. All right. So would you like to close us out in prayer?
Oh, I can. Dear Lord, thank you, God, for giving us this opportunity to be together today, God, to talk about you, our writing, and our love for one another. Thank you for Anne and all that she's doing for the writing community. God, continue to bless her in all that she does. I ask you this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. So we challenge you today to go out there and read to get inspired, write something inspiring, and share your creation with the world. For when you've touched one life, you've touched thousands. Thanks for joining us on Inspirational Journeys. You guys stay tuned. I've got something coming up for you guys next week. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.